Hello and welcome to a new episode of Aviation Top 3 Extra, the show where we take a closer look at current developments in the aviation industry. When I at the end of 2016 was looking at various aviation news sites, news stories seemed to unfold just like at any other day of the year. However, one story started to unfold that has the potential to truly shake up the industry. A story that could mean a paradigm shift in aviation. For years there has been talk about massive overcapacity in worldwide aviation. For years, legacy carriers like United and Delta in the US and Lufthansa in Europe have been fierce rivals to the three major Gulf carriers. Although the resistance from US carriers remains strong, in Europe there is a major shift in the industry. For years, Emirates, Qatar Airways and Etihad have been dominating headlines when it came to extreme expansion of never-before-seen proportions. And it was a trend that spurred on other airlines, like Turkish Airlines for example, to follow suit. But Turkish Airlines has stalled to the point that planes are being stored and new purchases are being pushed to later delivery dates. Despite Turkish Airlines' situation being based on many factors that don't influence the Gulf carriers, one thing seemed almost impossible, and that was that the Gulf carriers could run out of money. If anything seemed certain in the aviation industry, then the fact that the pockets of the Gulf carriers were deep, extremely deep. Despite the supposedly financial sound situation of the three big airlines, questions had to be asked. Can an airline really operate with a fleet only consisting of Boeing 777s and Airbus A380s as Emirates is doing? What way is Qatar Airways going, and is Etihad Airways becoming the new Swiss Air? These are questions that are being asked more frequently since media reports suggest that not all is as positive as portrayed by the airlines. But the airline that seems to have overextended itself the most is Etihad. Questions can and should be asked how profitable the airline itself actually is, but what is sure is the fact that none of its European investments are. Particularly Air Berlin has been a catastrophic investment, but now also Alitalia has turned for the worse after seemingly to have made the turnaround. Too many bad investments are now forcing Etihad to react. That has the potential to completely change the European and even worldwide aviation industry. For years, Lufthansa was a fierce opponent to the Gulf carriers. A short time where it looked like Lufthansa and Qatar Airways could become partners ended in what looked like a bad divorce and moved Lufthansa and Qatar Airways away from each other. This resulted later in Qatar Airways investing in the International Airlines Group of British Airways and Iberia instead of Lufthansa. Lufthansa was also strongly opposed to Etihad investing in Air Berlin, so much that they were prepared for a war in the courtrooms. But all this seems suddenly far away, and two airlines that were strongly opposed now seem to find a common ground. Lufthansa, like many others in the industry, have known for years that Air Berlin will collapse. It is really only a matter of time. The hundreds of millions that Etihad has invested in Air Berlin could only delay the inevitable. Now that money becomes an issue for Etihad, they are also realizing this. For Lufthansa, a collapse of Air Berlin could look like a dream come true. It would mean that the second largest airline in Germany would disappear overnight. But what at first looks like a dream scenario could very quickly turn into a nightmare, and Lufthansa knows this all too well. Even if Lufthansa wanted, the airline would not be able to completely absorb this suddenly free market in case of an Air Berlin collapse, and so there would be space for a new rival that Lufthansa fears more than any Gulf carrier: Ryanair. The Irish low-cost carrier wants to expand in the German market, and a disappearance of Air Berlin would be an ideal scenario. Lufthansa is trying to counter Ryanair with their own low-cost carrier, Eurowings. In a recent deal with Air Berlin, Lufthansa managed to secure about 40 planes that in the future will fly for Eurowings. This was an important step for Air Berlin in its attempt of restructuring the airline, and for Lufthansa it would open the possibility for a quickly expanding Eurowings without opening the market more for Ryanair. But what happened after this deal came to the surprise of many. In a statement, it was revealed that Lufthansa and Etihad would start code-sharing on some selected routes. Only a few weeks ago, this would have been completely unthinkable. Etihad realizing how dangerous the situation of the airline is, and Lufthansa fearing what a collapse of not just one, but multiple European airlines at the same time would mean for them, has turned two once fierce rivals into partners. This partnership, if it holds, has the potential to really mark a fundamental change in the industry. It could, however, also be the first step of the decline of two major forces in the market. Now, in the coming weeks, we will see how much this potentially will change the aviation industry. Now it's your turn. What are your thoughts about the new collaboration between Lufthansa and Etihad? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to smash that like button if you would like to see more videos like this.